Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel in Noir. Alright, so I watched episode 9 to Tokyo Ghoul season 2. Glasses are dirty and I can't really see that much out of them. God. Um so of course, picking up where last episode left off, Kaneki is still trapped inside of this thing that has engulfed nearly the entire city. So um okay, I'm still reeling over the fact that Hide is actually alive. But it is actually nice. And even though I'm still pretty far back in the manga, I did look up some pictures of him. Oh my, ah, I'm almost curious. When I get further in the manga, will we get to will I get to see what actually happened in the sewer before Kaneki went to go fight Arima for, well, the first time, the fight that fucked him up so badly? Because Hide, oh my god, it looks so bad. It looks like someone threw acid on him and it ate his face. So basically, like, all, to those of you who, of course, have read this part of the manga and you already know, like, all this here is gone. That's a shock. So he was basically with Akira and Amon, and he got some kind of voice box thing, so now he can communicate verbally instead of using cards, which is good, though I do miss his original voice. But anyway, um Hide apparently, because I'm actually curious as to how and why he knows so much about ghouls, where he's been all this time, but apparently he was an informant for the CCG, and we got quick flashes of him actually doing stuff and going places that affirms this. Actually, he said he wanted to learn ways to save Kaneki, and he feels like he failed because now look at his best friend trapped somewhere inside of this monstrosity. So he doesn't want that to happen again, and that is just pure loyalty at its basis for him with these two, and I love it. So his plan was basically, he took, I guess, everyone that follows Kaneki to the CCG and proposed to Mudade that Ghouls and the CCG work together to try stopping this thing from spreading anymore. Because, of course, this is Kaneki in some base form, actually. He's somewhere inside of it. So the main struggle was, how do you find him in such a large body that is also growing once it's active? We got some information slightly on it more from Kimi, who was actually working under Kano, who also committed suicide by shooting himself in the head. So without him, things were kind of at a standstill on how to handle this thing. But since Kimi has worked with Kano and knows as much as he knows, she is a good help to them, and she gets reunited with Nishio. So that's a good thing. But yeah, at first I didn't think it would happen because, of course, ghouls aren't exactly big fans of the doves, and of course the same can be said vice versa. But Hide's plan, of course, since it's not just a problem for the CCG, it's a problem for everyone, is how to stop this thing from expanding. So like I said, his plan is to have the ghouls and the CCG work together. But Muride left the final decision up to Suzuya, which, as you see in the thumbnail, he said, let's have everyone work together. Because, like Hide said, humans have their limitations. Of course, they can search a thing, but that thing covers pretty much the entire city. There's no way, if you're going on estimate on how many hands there are at the CCG, probably like a handful of people can search that whole thing for one person's body. That's like finding a needle in the largest haystack that just keeps growing more and more. So, of course, the main thing is mobility and, of course, the extra hands. So, like I said, everyone that is under Kaneki, everyone that is under his faction, have decided to work together with the CCG to help find him. And, of course, once his body is theorized that once his body is removed from this thing, it should disintegrate. But if not, and it keeps expanding, the estimate that it would naturally decay would be about 200 years. There's no way a person, let alone a community, could survive that thing. Like, even the ghouls probably couldn't survive with that thing as it is and continuously growing. But like I said, Suzuya made the final call that both factions were together, and it turns out there is a way to find Kaneki. It happened during it was realized during a conversation between Hide and Toka. He asked about how Toka and Kaneki's wedding went. What are they gonna do for their honeymoon? And did she and Kaneki exchange rings? And that's when Toka remembered she did give Kaneki a ring. She gave him, I believe, her father's ring or her mother's ring, because both of her parents' rings were engraved. So, yeah, I think she gave him one of her parents. I can't remember what her parents' names were. But, yeah, she gave him one ring and she kept the other. Since ghouls don't exactly exchange rings like humans do. But since the ring is, of course, made of metal, they just have to use metal detectors and search. So that's how they go about trying to find Kaneki. They split up into two teams. Some ghouls and CCG use metal detectors to search through that thing to find Kaneki's body within it. While another faction now has to stave off an attack, since I can't keep calling it a thing, I guess the Kagune, I think it is activated now because it's awake. It shot out some humanoid beings that are attacking. So one wave of the CCG is fending those off while the other faction is searching the Kagune for Kaneki's body, which in the end Toka finds it. But yeah, aside from that, we still have Mutsuki to fend with, and she's still seriously broken. I mean, it does come out, of course, that Furuta basically used the CCG as his own stomping grounds to create Kaneki as he is now. And now we have no idea where he is because he just walked off somewhere. Mutsuki is guilt-ridden with the fact that she basically caused this. She was just an instrument in Furuta's plan, and it was basically her that pushed Kaneki over his limitations of sanity, and he turned into this. And finally, we get the admittance that she's a girl. Like, for fuck's sake, it only took you like forever. Ugh. But honestly, it feels like it should have been figured out by everyone by now that she was a girl. I mean, she said, of course, Kaneki figured out that she's a girl, but kept the lie up for her sake, and she just basically uses to run away from her own truth. I figured Uri would have to figure out that Mutsuki was a female when he found her in that cave after Torso kidnapped her, basically. So, why does it seem like there's a revelation to everyone that Mutsuki's a female? Like, Anyway, I'm happy that got settled. But like I said, now it's a fight to fend off these things that are coming out of the Kagune. And well, now that Kaneki's been found, it's probably going to be a bigger deal to get him out. And aside from that, looks like next episode, we get Kaneki having a, I want to say deep conversation with Rize, but of course she is part of his subconscious as she is part of him. So of course she makes a reappearance, and I've been wondering what she would look like in this new animation style actually. And she doesn't completely look that far off from the first season of Tokyo Ghoul actually. So that's actually good. Um, but it also looks like this thing, aside from the first few Kanekis we saw in the previous episode, it looks like there are more sides to him, like within this one being. So I'm kind of interested to see how that turns out. As of course, as it also looks like they did get him out. So what's the next step? I mean, does it naturally decay? Does this Kagune naturally decay, or is it still there causing problems? And what's the end result, and what does Rize have to play in all of this? So many questions, but this was episode 9, so we have 3 episodes left actually. I really need to start reading the manga and catch up more. But yeah, I'm gonna go because I've had this nasty headache for the last 3 hours now and I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna take something for it and take a nap. So that's it for this video. Leave comments down below, like, share, subscribe for more content. Also, it looks like I might continue anime reviews, I guess, as there are some shows that I actually kind of do want to watch. Well, maybe I won't continue doing anime reviews. Maybe I'll just watch them for fun, because I feel like I haven't really done that in a while now. But aside from that, look forward to my review on the next final 3, I guess, episodes of Tokyo Ghoul Season 2. And I guess since I'm still watching it, maybe I can do a final thoughts and review on Zombieland Saga. I mean, both these shows should end around the same time anyway, so yeah. But anyway, like I said, it's for me, Luna out.